All right, fourth graders, we're so excited. The King's Equal by Katherine Paterson, chapter 5. Here we go. You ready? Rosamond hardly let Raphael out of sight before she went to work. She put aside her circlet of gold, rolled up her sleeves, and set about undoing all the evil that Raphael had managed to do in his short reign. The realm had never known such a cheerful, industrious, and kind ruler. It was a year of good. It was a year of good weather and bountiful crops. The children returned to school, and everyone had plenty and to spare. In the meantime, Raphael had reached the mountain pasture. The old goat and her 2 kids greeted him with joyful bleats, which turned to mournful wails and bleating when they realized that Raphael had brought them nothing to eat. Moreover, they smelled, as goats tend to do. So Raphael kicked them out of the shack into the cold, where they stood outside the door calling out even more piteously. The prince ignored their cries as he searched the shack for something to put in his own empty stomach. At last he found the grain jar, and because he didn't know how to grind wheat into flour to bake bread, he began to chew on the hard grains. Suddenly, he heard a shriek from the snowy pasture. It sounded as though one creature were being killed by another. Raphael was terrified. Suppose some ferocious beast were to attack him in this forsaken mountain. No one would hear his cries for help. Oh, he cursed Rosamond for sending him to this wild place. But then, remembering that he must bring back all 3 goats alive and well to the palace at the end of a year, he grabbed a staff and rushed out of the shack. There in the snow stood a large wolf with one of the small goats in his powerful jaws. "Stop!" Raphael shouted, waving the staff. "That's my goat. Leave it alone and get out of here." The wolf let go of the kid as gently as a mother cat drops a kitten. "I didn't know this goat was yours," he said. Now, Raphael had never heard any animal, much less a wild beast, speak before, and he trembled from his wig to his boot tips. Who were you?" He asked the wolf. "I am a friend of Rosamond," said the wolf. "That is all you need know." "Then why are you stealing her goat?" asked Raphael, feeling a bit braver. "I wasn't stealing her goat. We're friends too. The goats and I. We live together here in this shack. I'd just gone out for the day, and when I came back, I found my friends shivering in the snow with nothing to eat and a stranger in our home gobbling up all our grain. We played a rather simple trick to rid ourselves of this unwanted intruder. It seems to have worked." "Rosamond never mentioned you to me," said Raphael grumpily. "No," said the wolf, "she wouldn't have." He turned to the goats. "Now that foolish knave is out of the shack," he said. "Let's go inside and see if he has left us anything to eat." The wolf followed the goats inside and shut the door. At first, Raphael was too proud to knock at the door and beg for the animals' forgiveness. As day turned into night and the wind came up and howled across the mountain pasture, Raphael could no longer afford pride. He had to humble himself or freeze to death. "Please, sir," he begged. "It's terribly cold out here. I may even freeze to death. May I come in?" "Of course you may come in," said the wolf. "Actually, we need your help. Paws and hooves are no good at making fires and grinding flour and baking bread." "I'm sorry," Raphael said. "I don't know how to make a fire or ground flour or bake bread." "Oh, well, never mind," said the wolf. "Just do what I tell you, and we'll manage." And that is how things went for Raphael. The wolf taught him all the things Rosamond had known how to do. to make a fire, to grind flour, and to bake bread. And when spring and summer came, to gather roots and berries and wild grain, and to dry grass for the coming winter. As the months went by, Raphael's skin burned and his hands calloused. His fancy clothes were in tatters, and mischievous birds stole his wig for a nest. Well, the young goats taught him how to dance, and around the fire at night, the wolf taught him all the songs that Rosamond used to sing and told him the tales of ancient times. That is the end of chapter 5. We're almost finished. Blessings.